Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Professor Trufax, and you're watching Absolutely Trufax. As you may be aware, the average person is bombarded with information throughout their entire lives, from trusted sources like the school system, to the ever-present media, to their own friends and family. But unfortunately, no one knows everything. Misinformation is the weed of the mind, popping up silently and mysteriously. Not everything you accept as the truth is necessarily correct. But worry not, for only here on Absolutely Trufax will you find the real truth. Real, totally honest facts about everything from history to science to the secrets of your own backyard. For instance, did you know that bees cost 50 cents per bee? Did you know that George Washington's teeth weren't wooden, only yellowed enough to make people think they were? Did you know that the Loch Ness Monster does indeed exist, but has managed to live on land for hundreds of years now because no one thought to look there? Did you know that you, my friend, are watching Absolutely Trufax?
Everything you know is a lie, except for the thing I'm telling you right now about everything being a lie. And don't lie, you know that. But there exists a man, a very smart man, who is smart and everything he says is true and is not lies. Why would you even think that? Learning can be hard, but you don't have anything to fear. The show's about to start, open your mind and land and hear. It's time to hear completely and positively, absolutely
Trufax. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Absolutely Trufax. But this isn't just another episode, no. This is a very special occasion. Today we are celebrating our 100th episode. Many of you have been watching the show for a long time now, and we are very grateful for your support. Who could forget all the great memories we've had on this show? Like our first episode, where my desk was naught but a shoebox, and our camera was an extremely fast caricature artist. We've come a long way since then. But rest assured, one thing that will never change is our dedication to delivering pure, quality education every episode. And with that, let's get right into our first segment of the day. On the historical record, we talk about history, plain and simple. You may think you learned all there is to know about history after being taught the exact same material in social studies every year of school up through college, but there's still some fun things worth learning. Today's subject for the historical record, Ancient Egypt. True fact! Many would assume that the ancient pyramids were built by slaves. Others would assume aliens, but let's be honest, aliens have better things to do than to build oversized sandcastles. In actuality, the monuments were built by average Egyptian citizens, summoned on the pretense of national service, sort of like the military draft. But instead of going to war, they stack blocks of sand really high. The usefulness of the work aside, employees were given various benefits, such as food, shelter, and even the right to be buried in the nearby cemetery. No, not the giant super amazing tomb they were constructing, just the rinky-dink graveyard next door. The Sphinx, on the other hand, was not built by drafted workers. That one was aliens. True fact! The pharaoh Tutankhamun was the youngest pharaoh in Egypt's history. Not much is known about his short life, but scientists have discovered the most probable cause of his death: hippo attack. Based on his injuries and known hobby for hunting dangerous game, death by hippo is the most likely reason his reign was cut short. Hippos are nasty creatures. They can weigh up to 2 tons, outrun most humans, crush almost 2,000 pounds per inch with their jaws, leap 20 car lengths, breathe fire, and have all the powers of the Green Lantern. The only reason one doesn't see them do any of those last things is because, well, the bit about their jaws crushing 2,000 gosh darn pounds per inch is more than enough to kill basically anything. However, according to the autopsy, the most likely way King Tut went was a deadly case of being sat upon. True fact! Speaking of animals, Egyptians were the first civilization to keep pets. One would think that this is because Egyptians realized the true fluffiness and huggability of the kitten. Wrong! They kept pets out of fear. They believed that animals were incarnations of the gods themselves. Imagine seeing what you believe to be a holy deity acting as unhappy and uncooperative as the average cat. You'd be scared too. And it wasn't just cats. Egyptians kept all sorts of animals. Hawks, lions, ibises. I don't even know what an ibis is, and I'm intimidated. Wait, there's a joke there. Ibis-timidated? Intibisitated? Never mind. Egyptians even had police monkeys. Monkeys acting as police officers. It was a madhouse! A madhouse! But hey, the pet thing carried over into modern society, and that's pretty nice, so neat. That's it for Egypt, and that's all you need to know. Throw away your history books. You're good. You're done with Egypt. Ready for more true facts? Here's our next segment, Learn Your Language. On Learn Your Language, we discuss the history of words in the common vernacular. For instance, you might be wondering where a word like vernacular came from. Well, too bad. Here are some other word origins and meanings that aren't that. True fact. Here's a word, umbrella. Strange one, isn't it? Umbrella, umbrella, umbrella. Think about it too hard and it doesn't sound like a word at all. How did the English language develop such a word? Well, umbrella, like most of English vocabulary, is derived from Latin roots. Umbrella specifically is derived from the root word umbra, meaning shade. Technically, this means that most of what we call umbrellas are not umbrellas at all, as we don't use them for shade in the modern day very much. We more often use them for protection from rain. What you refer to as an umbrella is actually what is called, by experts, a dry no rainy stick. There is something to be said about the laziness of modern linguists, but I can't think of a word to describe it, as they haven't bothered making one. True fact! The longest word in the English language is the word time. Now your first thought may be, oh ha ha, it's because time is really long. Well, you might be surprised to learn that the original spelling of time included 367 usages of the letter I. The name was based off of the early philosopher who came up with the concept of time, Cassius Time. However, people were reluctant to use the word due to its length, and so the word and concept were in danger of being forgotten. So mankind decided to band together and save time by shortening the word. Get it? Because they saved themselves time? And also rescued time literally? Eh? Yes, I'm hilarious, I know. True fact! Google. You know it as a search engine. I know it as a species of webkins, a series of stuffed animals from 2005. Wait, is the singular form webkin or webkins? Not sure. Anyway, mathematicians know it as one of the largest numbers in existence, a value with 100 zeros in it, arguably the proper usage of the word. Now you may be wondering, what about the word is so appealing that it is used in so many different contexts? Well, you see, it is quite simple. In Greek mythology, Zeus had many children, many of which became gods themselves. One of these demigods was named, you guessed it, Google. It is said that invoking the name of Greek gods increases their power and influence over this world, explaining the prevalence of the Google website, the deliciousness of Mars bars, and the astonishing quality of Disney's Hercules movie. If Google continues its current rate of usage, it won't be long before Google the demigod overthrows Zeus, and then everything will be Google, which is probably what Google the corporation is going for. Semi-related, do you think Webkins are still around? Does anyone even know what I'm talking about? I barely remember myself. They had this website where you uploaded the stuffed animals to be online pets. I believe there was a mini-game based off of Puzzle Bobble. Geez, does anyone even know what Puzzle Bobble is? I feel so old. Cherish your youth, everybody. There's a real true fact for you. After the break, even more facts for that hungry brain of yours. For instance, true fact. Did you know that brains are capable of eating? It's possible, but be warned, it's immediately fatal. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Absolutely True Facts. I'm your host, Professor Trufax. So let's get right down to business and learn some absolutely true facts. Here we go with our next segment, Spectacles of Science. In this segment, we learn about science. There's going to be so much science, you'll be blinded by it. Wow, that was a good phrase. I could make a song about that. What was that? That's a song? Ladies and gentlemen, I've been informed that is already a song. Looks like I learned something new today too. Today on Spectacles of Science, we will be discussing one of mankind's greatest inventions, electricity. It powers our homes, our devices, our eels. True fact. Electricity was discovered by Benjamin Franklin during an incident where he tied a metal key to a kite string in a thunderstorm. And just like in all the cartoons illustrating this historical event, lightning struck the kite and violently electrocuted Mr. Franklin so hard he turned into a silly-looking skeleton. Of course, as life is not a cartoon, this instantly killed him. All his later accomplishments in life were actually the work of Thomas Jefferson, but everyone mixes the two up for no good reason. True fact. Since then, electricity has been a major part of all our lives. Arguably, one of the most important uses of electricity is the light bulb. Where would we be without it? We certainly wouldn't know where we'd be, because it's hard to make out our surroundings in the dark. However, there has been controversy in recent years over what sort of light bulb to use. There are fluorescent bulbs, the standard choice we're so used to, and LED bulbs, which are more energy efficient but have the distinct disadvantage of being new, and new things are scary. Of course, the easiest way to make your decision is to look and see what experts in the field are doing. And as everyone knows, scientists light their laboratories exclusively with ridiculously large and functionally purposeless Tesla coils. So clearly, Tesla coils are the most environmentally and economically viable light source for the home. True fact. Electricity is produced in a vast number of ways, such as thermal power plants fueled by coal. The process by which this happens is very simple. We use coal as the fuel with which we boil water, creating steam that powers a steam turbine. Now you may be thinking, that's all well and good, but what exactly is a turbine? A turbine, as any professional in the field worth their salt would be quick to tell you, is a short-furred rodent native to East Asia. It comes in a range of sandy colors, has short ears, small whiskers, and 2 obscenely muscular human legs. A steam turbine, of course, is a subspecies of the animal that is entirely made of steam. Obviously. And now, knowing this, the process by which coal is converted to electricity is easy to understand. The steam produced by the coal feeds the rodent, encouraging it to use its grotesque, out-of-place human legs to pedal a bicycle at thousands of miles per hour, producing all the energy a power plant generates. Obviously. True fact. Now, coal isn't the only power source we have available to us. There are many other alternatives that have been championed as being much more environmentally friendly. For instance, the hydroelectric power plant, which uses the power of falling water to generate electricity. Or wind power, or solar power, or even, of course, scream power. As shown in the popular animated movie Monsters, Inc., power can very easily be generated by sonic waves of certain frequencies. In the film, the primitive monsters used the screams of children as a power source, but in the end found that laughter was much more efficient. One would think that this is because positivity triumphs over fear. Wrong. Children's laughing is simply closer to the correct frequency to generate power. Adult screams are even closer, with their increased bass levels and capacity for horror. So, we hire the world's most talented vocalists to come to dark, shady warehouses and scream into a receiver as loud as they can. This process generates most of the power in northern Minnesota, Utah, and Maine, states where no one is around to hear the screaming. True fact. Of course, before we were using it for our own purposes, electricity was only found in lightning. The strange and otherworldly nature of this phenomenon led to many cultures interpreting it as having spiritual or religious significance. The most famous example would have to be found in Greek mythology, one of my favorite subjects, where Zeus, the god of thunder, was seen as the ruler above all other gods. One has to wonder why exactly the Greeks decided to hold the god of thunder above all others. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the answer may shock you. Actually, I don't know why. I just wanted to make the joke. True fact! Let's talk a little about wiring. Electricity is transported primarily through wires, flexible strands of metal that conduct electricity along a circuit. The wire was first invented by the greatest inventors of our time, the Wright brothers, who invented most of modern-day technology in their many attempts to achieve human flight, which, ironically, they could never accomplish. One day, the brothers were testing their newest idea, a vehicle that closely resembles today's helicopters, but with hundreds of razor-sharp wires instead of blades to propel the machine upwards, which, if you think about it, actually sounds slightly less deadly. While the vehicle did make it several feet off the ground, lightning struck, coursing through the spinning wires and electrocuting everything in a large radius. Lewis, their test pilot, did not survive. But all in all, it was another amazing scientific success for the Wright brothers, allowing our homes to be powered to this day. And now, a quick commercial break before we wrap up the show. Stick around for some closing thoughts. See you in a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for our 100th episode. It's always great to have you here, and it's always great to be here. I hope this has been a helpful learning experience as we usually try to provide. And now, it's time to wrap things up with today's Trufax tip. Starting new things can be difficult. When we first step foot into the unknown, we can never really expect things to turn out how we plan. It may sometimes be the first step to failure, yes, but that first step is incredibly important. If you're nervous or scared or don't feel that you're ready, that's fine, but don't let it hold you back forever. Even if things don't work out, it's always better than doing nothing. So focus on whatever it is you're planning to do and start taking the steps to make it happen. There's absolutely nowhere worth going other than forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Professor Trufax. This has been absolutely Trufax. Stay safe, stay positive, and stay aware. Tune in next time for more of the same. Good night.